Hey there, good morning. I'm John. Today is Friday, February 14th, 2025. We made it to another Friday. This is my standard daily vlog. Each morning I come in here, turn the lights and camera to talk to you about what I've been doing, what I'm doing next, and how it's going in my endeavors to make content creation indefinitely sustainable. And I do this because has become part of this ritual of how I work. You know, literally this vlog forces me to plan my day, to make sure I'm accountable, to make sure I'm at least communicating with someone every day and getting feedback on things. And it's really the symbiotic thing that it looks one way, but it's not one way. And I talk over on the main channel often about how I got an idea for a video from some comment. And I often get ideas for things that are interesting to discuss here about content creation from you. In fact, I have something about thumbnails I want to talk to you about that came from a discussion from yesterday's vlog that I'm like, I haven't talked about that in some time, and clearly there's interest. So we're going to talk about that at the end of the video. But first, let's start by talking about yesterday. You get caught up on that. So yesterday, I posted the second now full-length audio podcast to the main channel. The first one was last week, and then I posted this one. And this is a trial, and for starters, I'll put up, it's done almost, negligible views. It's done fewer than 300 views. But that's not important, right? So, often you post something on YouTube, and we were measuring, how to do views, engagement, subscribers, all that kind of stuff. But that's because most videos' jobs are to create views and engagement and subscribers. And while it'd be great if posting these podcasts on the YouTube channel did that, that's not the goal necessarily of posting them there. The actual goal, sometimes videos have different jobs. For example, you might post a video and its job is to increase awareness about this other thing. Regardless of the views it did, if it creates that impact, then that's good. Or maybe you put something up there because I'm trying to sell a widget, right? I have this new gadget. I was going to reach for something, nothing in reach. I was selling this new gadget, and I need to tell people it's out there. And if maybe I only get 1,000 views, but I sell 100 of those gadgets, well, the video did its job. It doesn't matter how many views you got. So all that to say, the goal, the reason for posting these podcasts is to increase awareness of the existence of the podcast, to capture people who might not otherwise listen to the podcast off YouTube platform. I know a lot of people who go, yeah, I'm not a podcast guy, but if it comes up on YouTube, they might click and at least sample it, right? And also it's to add engagement to for our podcast partner, Evergreen, to help awareness of our channel there, to help increase the viability of advertising on us because we have more distribution. So posting the podcast there and all of that, bottom line of that is provided it doesn't do any harm. And so far, having posted the first one, early signs, we had an uptick in views shortly after that, not because of the podcast necessarily, but despite some commenters saying this is odd and different and weird, which they're totally right, and it's odd and different and weird for what we normally post. We made a couple of bucks off of it. And by couple, I mean a couple, like $2 or $3 we made off of it after a week. And other videos didn't seem to be negatively affected. So far, so good. So far, so good. We'll see. And I've heard other suggestions about, hey, why don't you tweak this and tweak that a little bit? Maybe. Try not to make it another job that I have to do every week. But, because right now it automatically ingests. I literally have to go in and say, yeah, let's publish this one, monetize it or not, and that kind of thing. That's it. So try to keep that doing its job. We know it's going to be a huge views grabber, but maybe it will in the future. Right now, it's totally alien and it's different. Just like we talked about pilots yesterday with George's bit by bit that he showed me yesterday this spreadsheet he has where he keeps track of articles and which ones he's covered and the duration of the reads, and very organized. He's a spreadsheet guy. But even that, we were talking about how are its views doing, or up, is it down, whatever. And I said, it's still very early. It's still very different. People are still going, like, I no longer have people going, I hope you continue the Friday plays, because it's now established and people look forward to it and know it and enjoy it. But people are saying to, about bit by bit, I hope you continue to post these. We really enjoy them because it's new and different, and it's, it could be tenuous, whether, a pilot doesn't do well, it continues. So the podcast is still very early. Posting on the YouTube channel is still very early, but posting them are doing their job, and so far it looks like no damage, so continue to gradually, and we have a back catalog we can slowly sprinkle out there over time. So okay, that also yesterday, of course, produced the Friday plays to get that ready to release today. 3 o'clock today. Got to members yesterday, got it out. It was I think it's a very fun one because I'm trying to achieve a certain score, and I rewatched it just again this morning, and it was fun. It was fun, the struggle and the frustration, and I think it tells a little bit more of a story, maybe, rather than just a points run. Interesting. So, I think it'll be good. So that'll launch the weekend. I was going to do some pod prep yesterday, and I just really didn't, by which I mean some little bit of writing. I have to do that today, but it postponed to today, and here we are today. I'm going to do it today. So before I talk about today, let's talk about stats. Stats looking pretty good, up a little bit again. Here is the little chart that I have created to help keep track of these things. Upper left-hand side, you'll see that graph of the last 28 days. You can see the larger up and down over the last week or so, which follows through. Our views are now, I have this target, of course, the midpoint 13,000 views and 100 subscribers average. Not quite up to 13 on views, but up from the other day, 11.3 thousand. So I'll take that. That's a gain. Views are still just a little off the chart. I'm going to adjust the chart over the weekend. I think pull it back 10 or 20. But 172 subscribers average over the last 7, and that has brought the subscriber count from yesterday was 80,600 and just a little bit. Today it's 80,700 and about a half. So I think, you know how the weekends go. Probably between now and Monday when we speak, it's going to be probably 400 or so. So, by the time we talk Monday, I would expect to see 81,000. So, squeak, another notch up, getting there. So, is this the countdown now? So, I guess we'll say today we are 20,000 away from 100,000. So, by Monday, I think we'll be able to say we're 19 away from 20,000. So yeah, I'm gonna start looking at it like that. Sure, why not? So let's talk about today. We're recording the podcasts today, this afternoon, this evening. So I'll do the final podcast preparation, just write some teases, pick some listener emails. I had to do a little bit of background research on some music we're doing because it's an anniversary album from the 80s that we're going to cover. So I've been listening to the album in the car all week, but I need to jot down some notes for what I'm going to talk about. And of course, we'll do that podcast recording. There's also that top 10 I talked about. I'm just not going to get done today. Now, I would love to get some other video out for Saturday. I don't know that it's going to happen. Just because I have so much that, how the week got away from me earlier in the week. We talked about that. I think I'll try to do some writing on it today when I get the podcast prep ready, but I'm not probably going to be producing it for a Saturday. Most likely it'll be an early next week kind of thing. So let's talk very briefly about thumbnail theory. So TD Mills dropped me a line in the comments yesterday about also encouraging the bit by bit that George is doing, saying maybe he needs to put more branding on the thumbnails, which I wrote off this paragraph, and I'm like, this actually is a topic to discuss, and it's weird because you would think, oh, well, make sure people know it's GenXGrownUp so they'll click on it or whatever. And the weird thing is, for people who know who or what GenXGrownUp is, yeah, you're right, that might help. A logo in the corner actually might help. That's not wrong. I think if you like and enjoy, it'd be like if you're a Star Trek fan and you're like, see this picture of outer space, but you have a Star Trek logo in the corner, you're like, oh, well, I'm going to click on that because it's about Star Trek, that kind of thing. However, what the stats prove out, and what I've learned, because early on the first year of this, we paid a fee to be part of this developer program and get coaches and stuff like that to try to help me learn things, best practices and that kind of thing. And it's that the having logos on things and cluttering things up actually reduce overall clickability, because the oddity is, despite the fact that you can click subscribe and follow a creator and get notified, you typically 60 to 80%, usually on the higher end, 75% of the views any video gets are from people who are not subscribed, who do not know who you are, and for whom that logo means nothing and is just visual clutter that dilutes the message you're trying to get across in the thumbnail. So me coming out of a TV background, branding of your channel and everything, that was imperative. And I thought, like TD Mills suggested, make sure people know it's us. Over the years, I have learned this rule of 3, which is 3 elements on the screen, product, words, and a little something. That's the most. Anything beyond that is like, starts to get very confusing at a glance, because often people get fewer than 3 seconds to identify if they want to click on it or not. And the more objects in the thumbnail, the less likely they're going to gravitate toward it because it's not clean. To give you an example, 2 thumbnails, one from many years ago and one from just a few weeks ago that I want to show you. And you can see the old one, the one on the left, there's a logo, there's a blue bar with the type of, what is the toy we're looking at. There's a picture of the toy, there's my stupid face, there's a Pac-Man icon, there's a logo above him. It's just, and the one on the right is just, oh look, here's the thing, zoom. What's this about? Is it a toy? What? It actually, it leaves something open to interpretation and leads you to a question, what is the kind of thing? But the one on the left, I'll show these again, the one on the left is, it's obvious. If you want to see a review of this guy opening this toy, click on this. But if that's not what you wanted already, you're probably not going to watch that. But the one on the right, okay, this looks like an ancient handheld, and it has the word zoom. Are you going to throw it? Are you going to make it throw it, make it go fast? Are you going to put a car on it? You're going to just talking about the feeling of speed. What's the zoom mean? It's expressing the inquisitive nature, of like, whoa, I want to know more about this. Whereas one of them actually tells you everything that's in it, and that's great if you want to see it. But the other one well, you didn't know you wanted to see this, but don't you want to know more about this thing? So, thumbnail theory and the rule of 3s is constantly proven out. Don't clutter. Don't litter the thumbnail with something. Get some iconic images with nice high contrast so you can see it at a very small size. Scale it down to 10%. Make sure you can still see something worth clicking there, because that's how people see them on their phones now. So litter it up with logos, it just becomes a mishmash and you don't know. So so thank you, TD Mills, for asking about that. And it's something that I've learned and I've shared in little snippets, I think, over the years, but it's very worth repeating because the thumbnail and the title are the 2 top things that are going to get a video clicked on or not. Now, getting them in and retention and all that stuff matters, but you never get to that part if you don't get the click in the first place. And so that's why not a lot of branding all over stuff. We try to keep it to 3 icons on the screen, 3 things to look at most. Fewer, probably better. 1 or 2 is pretty good too. So that's my ramble for today. I hope, especially some creators I know, MC Murr knows this stuff. We've talked about it before. John, you're here. Other folks who, Robo Gamer, everyone who comes through here, we learn this stuff together. And it's just, I've just been doing it a long time and invest a lot of stuff. And so take what I've learned and dilute it with what you think is right and do what's right for your channel when you decide to do something like that. Because if you're doing it to get some recognition or views, you don't want to waste your time, get it out there, and then create a thumbnail that's actually fighting you. That's no good. Okay, I think we're ready to get going. I got some cleanup in the studio to do. I still got, burger time still sitting on the desk. I need to get that cleared away so I can record today. I want to thank you, of course, for popping in to check out today's video. If that's what you did, you know that if you're here every day, I love you for that, including on this Friday. Nothing's changed on that front. Hope you have a great Friday and a fantastic weekend. Don't forget to do something good for yourself. I'll talk to you again next week. Bye-bye.